Following the defeat of Theocoles, Batiatus addresses his gladiators, saying the events which transpired in the arena have brought honor back to his ludus. He then introduces Spartacus as the new champion of Capua. Spartacus is greeted with roars of approval from the gladiators below. As this happens, a horribly injured Crixus lies in the medicus chamber, recounting the events of the brutal battle. Back inside the villa, as Batiatus boasts about the wealth and fame Spartacus will bring, Lucretia is quick to point out that Crixus stood alongside Spartacus. Batiatus notes Crixus, should he recover, will always be revered within the ludus. He then produces a message telling Spartacus that his wife Sura has been located and is on the way to Capua. A thankful Spartacus claims Batiatus to be an honorable man and is led away. This news, however, does not please Lucretia, Sura's discovery being the only reason Spartacus is kept in check. She claims he will return to his animalistic ways. She is also unhappy about Batiatus keeping the murder of Ovidius a secret from her. Batiatus reassures her that his motive was that Ovidius was the one who called for Batiatus's assassination in the pit. Spartacus is led to his new bedroom by Doctore. The presence of a bed and candles pleases Spartacus, saying Sura will enjoy them. Doctore, however, tells Spartacus that women do not stay with gladiators, and if she is to come to the ludus, she will stay as a slave in the house. If Spartacus can win enough in the arena, though, he can buy their freedom. Asher walks through the gladiators' sleeping area when he is confronted by Barca, asking if Asher has the winnings from the wager Barca had placed on Spartacus and Crixus's victory. Asher tries to say the odds were so high he hasn't collected the sums, but Barca threatens him to get the money. Barca returns to his cell where Pietros is waiting. Barca reassures him their freedom will soon be bought. An excited Pietros is, however, upset when he learns it was Barca who killed Ovidius and his family. However, when questioned about Ovidius's son, Barca reassures Pietros he would never harm a child, but other than that, he had to follow Batiatus's orders. Unbeknownst to them, Asher has overheard the entire conversation. While bathing, Lucretia asks Batiatus how he plans to keep Spartacus in check once he is reunited with Sura. Batiatus reckons her finding will only bind him to the ludus.
In the rain, Varro talks to Spartacus about Sura's return. Spartacus asks Varro if there are any mountain passes leading away from Capua. Varro, however, quickly tells Spartacus escape is impossible. Spartacus says defeating Theocoles was once deemed impossible. When Varro asks if Spartacus has a plan, which he does, it involving Spartacus fighting off many guards and rescuing Sura. Varro questions this, asking Spartacus where he will claim a weapon or a method of escape. Spartacus reveals the ludus has plenty of weapons, and that Sura arrives by cart. He will steal a horse. Varro then tells Spartacus there is someone capable of stopping him, Doctor. Varro, unable to get Spartacus to reconsider, wishes him luck. In the rain-soaked city, Spartacus is with Batiatus getting suited for new armor. Spartacus requests he wear his new armor upon Sura's arrival, now giving him protection against the guards. Batiatus agrees, as long as he doesn't have his swords. Magistrate Calavius and his son, Numerius, walk in. Numerius has purchased a Thracian dagger and proudly shows Spartacus. Spartacus then offers for Numerius to come to the ludus, and Spartacus offers to tutor him in gladiatorial combat. Calavius agrees to send Numerius once he is questioned about Ovidius' death. Once Calavius has left, Batiatus slyly congratulates Spartacus on sweet-talking the magistrate's son, seemingly gaining Calavius' favor. At the villa, Lucretia and Naivia visit the injured Crixus, both wishing him a speedy recovery. In the city, Spartacus requests to pay for some prostitutes and wine to be sent to the gladiators so they may celebrate his victory. Batiatus agrees and sends Assur to secure the wares. Assur gives money to the Marcellus, the man who identified the slaves who attempted to assassinate Batiatus, and also asks for assistance in settling his debt with Barca. At the villa, Spartacus is play-fighting with Numerius. When Numerius is frustrated at his lack of fighting prowess, Spartacus claims his heavy belt is hindering him. Numerius removes it, and the two continue to fight. On the side, Calavius and Batiatus discuss a potential deal of some of Batiatus' men to provide a demonstration for Numerius' upcoming birthday. But before a deal is settled, a messenger arrives with news for Calavius. Ovidius' son is alive. This shocks Batiatu greatly, yet he fakes relief at the news. At once, Calavius and Numerius leave, but not before Spartacus reminds Numerius he has forgotten his belt. Numerius thanks him and leaves. Lucretia and Batiatus ponder how Ovidius' son still lives when Ashur arrives, telling them the celebratory wine and prostitutes have arrived. Batiatus, however, cares not, concerned with the more pressing matter of the boy's survival. Ashur wonders how this could be, seeing as the deed of killing him was left to the seemingly loyal Barca. Batiatus worries that the boy could identify Barca, and then that would link Batiatus to the crime. Ashur then tells Batiatus of Barca's intention to buy his freedom, hence seemingly escaping before the revelation that Batiatus was behind the murder is revealed. Ashur then tells Batiatus that instead of questioning Barca, they should try another tactic. The gladiators are celebrating below. Barca and Pietros talk of their freedom. Varro notes to Spartacus that the guards are partaking in the celebrations, but Doctore isn't. At this, Spartacus takes 2 cups of wine and decides he will pay his respects to Crixus. In the medicus's room, Spartacus thanks Crixus in his assistance in helping them to live. After this, though, Spartacus intentionally reopens one of Crixus's wounds, causing Medicus to frantically try to repair it. With this distraction, Spartacus grabs a pinch of Medicus's sedative herb and sprinkles it into a cup of wine. With this, he takes his leave. A guard is sent to summon Pietros. Up above, Batiatus offers Pietros some wine and the two talk. Batiatus tells Pietros about the demise of Ovidius's family, including the boy. At this, though, Pietros reveals Barca didn't kill the boy. A seemingly relieved Batiatus thanks Pietros for his honesty. But this quickly turns to anger as it turns out Barca has disobeyed his master. Spartacus visits Doctore, who is deep in prayer. Spartacus offers him celebratory wine, which Doctore gracefully refuses, stating it is as matter of discipline that he doesn't drink. When Spartacus mentions Sura prayed to the gods herself, Doctore states that he once had a wife himself and that Spartacus is fortunate for the love he and Sura share. At this, Doctore says he can drink in honor of Spartacus's wife. Spartacus gives him the spiked wine and the two drink. Ashur tells Barca he is summoned. He also tells Barca he was the winnings, which he will receive once he has spoken to his master. Barca leaves, telling Pietros this is the last time he will call Batiatus Dominus. Above, Batiatus questions Barca about his desire to buy freedom. This quickly turns to the matter of Barca not killing Ovidius's son. Barca wonders how this could be, and Batiatus says the boy has been discovered. Barca claims he did indeed kill the boy, but then Batiatus reveals Pietros has told him otherwise, to which Barca said he lied to Pietros so that he wouldn't be upset. At this moment, Barca is surrounded by guards. As he tried to explain he is attacked by Ashur and the other guards, Barca bravely fights them all. At the same time the spiked wine begins to take its effect on Doctore, Barca is heavily injured, having been outnumbered and overpowered by the guards. As he crawls out into the rain, Batitas delivers the final blow, slitting Barca's throat and leaving him to die. Lucretia then makes it clear to Naive that Barca had purchased his freedom and that they wished him well as they escorted him to the gates. Almost immediately, an incensed Calavius storms into the villa. He claims the messenger who told him that Ovidius's son was alive had in fact lied. The boy's body was found among the wreckage of the late Ovidius's house. Batitas says the culprit will be found, as apparently he stays in their house. Meanwhile, Ashur meets with Marcellus, saying the quote-unquote messenger had its desired effect, and that Barca is now dead. Ashur is told the messenger is also dead, which reassures him, and the two part ways soon after. Back at the villa, Ashur tells a worried Pietros that Barca has left. The deeply saddened Pietros is left alone. A hugely hungover Varro meets Spartacus, who notes that no one is able to stop him now, including the drugged Doctore. Spartacus also reveals he plans to kidnap Batitas to aid his exit from the ludus. At this, Batitas tells Spartacus that Sura approaches. Varro, still unable to convince Spartacus to abstain, wishes him luck. Lucretia and Batiatus ponder the demise of Barca, stating he was in fact loyal, but they both agree that Barca's desire for freedom is betrayal in itself. Batiatus then tells Lucretia that Sura is on the way and that he must keep his word to Spartacus. In his room, Spartacus puts his armor on, conceals the dagger, and prepares to put his plan into action. As he walks outside, the rain stops, and a cart pulls up. Varro turns up to watch. Batiatus goes to talk to the merchant, and Spartacus begins to advance. At that moment, both Spartacus and Varro discover Doctore has recovered much quicker than expected, and upon seeing Spartacus, is making a direct move to him. Just as Spartacus is about to strike, he sees the caravan driver is heavily injured. The driver reveals there was an attack. Spartacus rushes to the back of the cart and opens it to find a fatally wounded Sura. He hauls her out and cradles her in his arms. Sura looks her husband in the face for the final time, smiles, then closes her eyes in death. To the side, a happy Batiatus tells Lucretia he has indeed kept his word in reuniting Spartacus with Sura. At this, everyone goes back inside, leaving a broken and grieving Spartacus in the sand, cradling the dead body of his wife.